You deserve to be in movement and in momentum and not to be stuck. What's going on? My name's Anissa Naomi. I'm a high performance transformation coach. I help women elevate in work, life, and at home so they can have it all. I'm so excited to get into this episode with you guys today. So if you're somebody who is feeling stuck in wherever you are, in your career, in your relationships, in your overall goals and fulfillment and contentment with life, then this video is for you. So if you're somebody who is feeling stuck, or you haven't seen the results that you want to in your relationships, in your home life, in your work life, or your career, you might be engaging in some of the types of activities and behaviors that I am going to talk about today. And you're not the only person. A lot of people operate in this manner, and that is what is keeping you stuck. So if you're somebody who's stuck, you might be falling victim to some of these key behaviors that really end up in you not having any results, you not taking any action. So let's talk about these behaviors. One of the big ones is comparing yourself to other people, comparing your journey to other people's journey. So you spend so much time consuming other people's content, looking at other people on social media, and really just looking at their highlight reel, and you're telling yourself a story about that person's life or about that person's results. You might be telling yourself that this person had it easy, or that it just comes so natural to them, and there's a reason why that person can have the level of success that they have in whatever area we're talking about. But you might be telling yourself that you can't have that for whatever reason. So what happens when we compare our journey to other people's journey is that, well, number one, we never have the full scope of somebody else's journey. We never have a full scope of what the challenges that they went through would look like. We never have a full scope of what their mental fortitude looks like and the work that they do every day to show up to create the results that they want in their lives. And we don't even have a full spectrum of the additional results and the additional desires that they want to come to fruition in their life. So I think a lot of times we tell ourselves, and we look at other people's lives, and we look at how they have created results that we want, and we think that there's not a gap between that person's desire and the current life that they're living. So we start to tell ourselves this story that this person is so confident, or this person, it just comes easy for them, and that could never be me. Or maybe you're telling yourself, from a place of resentment, why can't that be me? I'm doing all of the things. I'm trying so hard. I'm doing all of these things. I'm a good catch. Why can't I find a person to, love and to love me in the way that I know that I deserve to be loved? You might be telling yourself these stories. And because you're telling yourself these stories, you get into an energy and an attitude and a feeling of that something isn't for you. So you're feeling isolated, you're feeling defeated, you're feeling like something is not for you because you're making an incongruent comparison. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how to combat that. How do you combat comparing yourself to other people? I think always telling myself that I am exactly where I need to be. I stay in my lane. I run my race. I am here to do my job. I'm on this earth on my assignment. Nobody else on this earth has the assignment that I have. So there's no reason to look at somebody else's paper and see how they did their assignment, because their assignment is unique to them and my assignment is unique to me. So your assignment here on earth is unique to you. Your journey to fulfill that assignment is also unique to you. So you really need to manage what's going on in between your ears so that you can keep your eyes focused on the prize and talk to yourself in a way that is going to inspire the action that you need, the action that is required of you to fulfill your assignment. So that's how we get out of the comparison game. We just decide that our assignment is our assignment, and our assignment is unique to us, and it's unique to us because of who we are. Another thing that could be happening if you're not taking action or you're feeling stuck is that you are fixating on your past mistakes. You are so fixated on the past, you're so fixated on the mistakes that you've made before getting to this point that you're not freeing up yourself to write a new story starting today. When we fixate on the past, we are really just beating ourselves up. There's no reason to live something that was not enjoyable over and over and over again. There's no reason to tell ourselves that, this mistake that I made, I'm going to be paying for it for the rest of my life. There are some mistakes that we will the consequences of some of our mistakes will last, but that doesn't mean that we can't make new choices that have different consequences or results. So if you're fixating on past mistakes, you are probably telling yourself a story about what your past mistakes mean to your current worth. And I just want to free you from that right now. Your past mistakes have nothing to do with your current worth. You are worthy of what you desire just for being. You are worthy of what you desire just because the desire is in your heart. And I want to sit there for a second and I want to let that marinate, because a lot of times we tell ourselves a story about our worthiness and about the dreams that we are worthy of pursuing or the dreams that we are capable of pursuing, and we're using an outdated version of ourselves to inform that. You are smarter, stronger, better, faster than the person who made those mistakes however long ago. So it's not really the same comparison, it's not the same to compare yourself to somebody else. It's not the same to compare yourself to an older version of yourself or a younger version of yourself, rather. It's unique to us. Now, moving to these mistakes that we've made in the past, it's unique to us because of everything in our past that has culminated to who we are is what informs how we show up in this world. And not just how we show up in this world, meaning the scars that we bear, but meaning the intel that we've gained along the way so that we can share it with other people. So when you're judging yourself for your past and you're punishing yourself essentially for your past mistakes, and you're not allowing yourself to feel into your future, you're not allowing yourself to flow into your future. So you're stopping up all of the creativity because you're judging and punishing yourself for your past mistakes. You need to let that go. There's a lot of people out here that do a lot of work on healing, which I think can be beneficial. I personally, I wouldn't say that I didn't do any specific healing work, but I think I was able to let things go without having to have an explanation as to how they made me feel and what my trauma has done and all of these things. So I just decided that I was going to let it go. Not everybody can do that. So you can look at different healing modalities to help you get there. I think journaling is a great way to help you get there. I think mantras or affirmations are a great way to help you get there. I think Bible verses and reading what the Word says about you are great ways to help you get there, because what it does is it allows you to affirm yourself, it allows you to build yourself up, and it allows you to start telling yourself different stories about yourself versus just using the evidence of the past to inform who you are today. And then another reason why I feel like a lot of people are stuck is because they are judging their current circumstances. So what do I mean by you're judging your current circumstances? If you're judging your current circumstances, it means that you've made your current circumstances mean something about you. You've made your living situation mean something about you. You've made where you are in your job or your career mean something about you. You've made where you are in the relationships mean something about you, and you've probably made it mean something negative. You've probably made it mean that you should be further along, or you're not as far as you should be, or I thought, or my expectation was that this would feel different when I got here, and now you don't know what to do. So you're sitting in this place of shaming yourself. You're sitting in this place of disregarding how far you've come and judging your current experience, your current circumstance negatively. And when you're judging your current circumstance negatively, there's not room for anything to flow through. You're judging your current circumstance, so you're embodying a feeling of discontentment. And then finally, how do we combat judging our current circumstances? How do we combat embodying this feeling of discontentment? And I think that this is the biggest thing that you should take away from this, is that when you are embodying a feeling of discontentment, you're stopping the flow. That is why anybody that you talk to that's talking about, getting into a better well-being, improving your mental health, the very first thing that they start with is gratitude. The very first thing that mental health professionals start with is gratitude. You gotta be doing your gratitude every day. Are you doing your gratitude every day? That is also Bible. The Bible tells us to pray without ceasing, and with everything give thanks. We're always told to give thanks. We're told to be in gratitude. And you can find this across many different spiritual practices, many different religions, many different health practitioners, many different mental health practitioners always start with gratitude. Okay, so let's just talk about that. I believe that is because gratitude opens up your eyes and it opens up your heart to feel into your present. When you're grateful for what you have rather than judging yourself for your current circumstances, you open yourself up to start recognizing the positive. And when you start recognizing the positive, you also start to recognize opportunities. And when you're outflowing with gratitude, then there is a sense of having things that are coming towards you. Now, and that is another reason why I believe that prayer is coupled with giving thanks. So you pray and you ask, and then you give thanks. You give thanks, you pray and you ask, and then you take the faithful action to make your desires of your heart or the desires of your mind be a real life manifestation in the 3D. So that is one of the top tier ways that you can get out of judging your current circumstances, is to look at your blessings, look at how far you've come. And a lot of times you might look at certain areas and say, oh, well, I've regressed in this area. I regressed in my career. I regressed in my relationships. Maybe at one point you had a really great relationship and now that relationship is not in your life anymore. There are going to be different seasons where it might look like a regression. And we'll talk about that. We'll talk about how seasons that could look like a regression, and what they're designed for is to allow you to come into a fuller version of yourself. So when I had one of my seasons of regression was unemployment. I had built this career and then I went into unemployment, and I didn't really make it mean a whole lot about me, but I also think that I had the buffer of the fact that it was COVID. And so I was like, oh, well, it's COVID. A lot of people are getting laid off. So I didn't really make it mean anything about me. But in that season, I went really deep spiritually. I went really deep with my thought work and my mindset work. I went really deep with, how can I generate money without having a traditional job? And those were things that were hard and they were difficult, but it's all informing how I show up today and what I'm able to offer and the value that I'm able to offer the people that are in my sphere of influence. So that was a little bit of a tangent, but I think y'all needed that. But yeah, if you're judging your current circumstance or you're making it mean something about you, I just need you to know that you have the opportunity to plus up your gratitude, which will always make you feel better in a situation, but you also have the hope that the story isn't over and that there's something better for you on the other side, but you have to keep going. You can't sit in being stuck. You can't sit in being discontent. You have to move forward with a sense of gratitude, with a posture of hope that things will get better for you. So it's time to open up your mind to some of these different modalities. These have been super helpful for me throughout various areas of my life, but they are the most number one things that help to get me into action, get me out of stagnation, and really stepping into my purpose ultimately. So I hope this was helpful for you. If you are somebody who maybe you're feeling stuck in your life and you want to take an additional step, you want to really get clear on what that desire is. Maybe you're stuck, but you don't know why you feel stuck. Maybe you're feeling unfulfilled, but you're not sure why you feel unfulfilled. It's probably because there's a disconnect between what you desire and where you are. And if you're not clear on where you want to go, it's probably because you have not defined what it is that you desire. Well, I went ahead and made a resource for you that is a compilation of the 4 most powerful questions that I have been asking myself over the past 3 years that have helped me plus up my desire, get really clear on what I want so that I can take the inspired action to get after it. So if you want to get clear on what your desires are so that you can close the gap between where you are and where you're going, take a look at the link in this description and download that resource. Until next time, bye.